Hey guys, just wanted to do my review of The Flash, Season 2, Episode 22, Invincible. So the episode opens up with the army of metahumans leading the siege on Central City. The CCPD is completely overwhelmed until the Flash comes in, starts putting out the fires to buildings, and starts capturing all the metahumans at once, and then the next and Iris is writing about it at CC Picture News. Wally's seeing the news on about the siege, now known as the Metapocalypse, and wants to go out in the streets and help. And in the next scene, Barry is showing that he's very confident that he'll be able to defeat Zoom, almost overconfident. He goes back to Star Labs, and he's informed by Cisco that Caitlin's returned to Star Labs. Henry's looking at her, and she says she's still in shock and malnourished, and seems to be. And also throughout the episode, you see she's suffering from PTSD because she keeps seeing flashes, no pun intended, or images of Zoom, and she feels like she's lost her self-confidence. She's traumatized and feels like a victim, and with Cisco and Barry reassuring her that she'll get her confidence back over time. Barry, who's saying that he's been, because after being part of the Speed Force, he knows that the universe is on his side and nothing could stop them. And he's called out by Zoom, saying that Zoom says that he sees his anger as a source of power, or Barry sees it as something dirty. And of course, as part of one of the attacks, the Black Siren, who is the evil doppelganger, the Black Canary, has been destroying buildings around the city, including Mercury Labs, and Barry has to go and rescue the people there, including Dr. Tina McGee, who addresses him as Mr. Allen, and saying how she's already put two and two together, saying that she knows Barry's the Flash, and because he's always seems to be privy to all the the abnormal activity going on around Central City. And so there's a nice little nod to where they're where she's introduced to Henry Allen, because their characters on the Flash TV series were an item, and it seems that they're gonna shift towards that towards the end of the episode, which I'll get into more in a second. And everybody feels like Barry's becoming incredibly overconfident, and he's being a little headstrong, that he's gonna, rush into something, which is pretty ironic, because it seems like we've always seen Barry as very angsty, and people have to keep telling him, Barry, you can do this, you have the power. And now he's being overconfident. He now has to have people talking him down, in which, I feel like this is kind of like taking more of the dynamic, taking a page out of Arrow, in which his friends have been taking a more active role, trying to talk him down, and not trying to instead of just making a half-hearted effort to try to be the voice of reason, instead of just going along with whatever plan he is, however haphazard it may be. And even Joe's talking to him about him being overconfident, how he needs to talk to Wally because he's been taking to the streets, and basically channeling his inner Roy Harper and trying to help victims of the Metapocalypse, and even trying to stop a metahuman from snatching somebody's purse, in which they have this really powerful emotional scene between Keenan Lonsdale and Jesse L. Martin, in which the former talks about how he feels like he needs to atone for his actions, because he feels like he's just been his life is worth living, and that his life was worth saving by the Flash, because he's been this juvenile delinquent who's been street racing and betting cars, and who spent weeks not avoiding his dying mother in the hospital, and the Flash gave up his powers just to save him, and now it just led to this whole chaos in the city, and now he just feels like his life has some kind of meaning, which you can tell Joe just finds heartbreaking, and it was also a very powerful scene. And also, and then this thing about I I like the Black Siren in this. I'm glad that they didn't kill her off at the end of this episode, because I feel like there's maybe an opportunity to, I don't know, maybe they can reform her or reform her, and maybe have her be a recurring character on the Flash, or even Arrow, or the fact that, because like she's basically like the Black Canary, except more immoral, ruthless, and she's able to produce a canary cry like naturally. She doesn't need like an actual like sonic device. Is more similar to her comic book counterpart, where she was able to produce a sonic scream naturally. To the point where it's like, even not only is Barry stunned, but it's like completely incapacitated. It only takes for Wally knocking her out with a car to come to save Barry's aid. And when they're talking about how they're going to be able to take out all these different metahumans at once, Harry's questioning how they're going to be able to do it, and Harry and Cisco decide to use like some kind of device that, because Earth 2 beings vibrate at a different frequency, they want the Flash to like run around the city and produce some pulse that'll be able to incapacitate all the Earth 2 metahumans, or anybody who's from Earth 2, because so Harry and Jesse have to wear headphones just so they won't be incapacitated. But then there's this, Barry's kind of caught with this whole like Sophie's Choice, in which they realize that Black Siren is going to attack this like high-rise building that's heavily populated, and the team wants Barry to generate the pulse, and so Cisco comes with the idea for him and Caitlin to pose as their doppelgangers from Earth 2, but Black Siren catches their bluff by saying that, Earth 2 metas are like mirror images of their Earth 1 counterparts, which means that Reverb was left-handed, and Cisco caught something that Black Siren threw at him with his right hand, which is kind of flimsy, because of the fact that it's like they've acknowledged that there are multiple Earths. That's been acknowledged. So I don't know, whatever. But the nice thing about it is that because both of those guys are panicked that Black Siren's going to kill them. Cisco's finally able to use his powers to send like a shockwave. The shockwaves like his Earth 2 doppelganger, and like Quake on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to knock Black Siren back momentarily, and Barry's has been running around the city in the meantime, is able to generate that pulse from that sonic device from Star Labs, able to incapacitate all the Earth 2 beings. The problem is that Jesse's earphones aren't working, and that she's being affected by it too, and so Harry makes a sacrifice to switch out their headphones, and so Harry's the one that ends up in a coma and mentally incapacitated instead of Jesse. And so most of the Earth 2 metahumans are put in the pipeline, including Black Siren, and the gang decides not to tell Team Arrow or the Lances about Laurel's doppelganger, considering they got news of Laurel dying recently, which kind of makes me wonder how this at this point of the show it lines up with Laurel's death and her funeral. And where Barry had time to go to the funeral, whether it was like during the siege, or like maybe they're gonna say he goes to that funeral before he goes to his dad's funeral. So anyway, they basically Barry's friends and loved ones decide to have this family dinner at their house, considering Zoom actually was able to open up a breach and escape back to Earth 2 to escape the effects of the sonic device. And so they decided to celebrate momentarily while he's gone. But throughout the episode, Cisco kept vibing about like these dead pigeons like hitting this building. And it wasn't until he realized he was having visions of Earth 2 like being destroyed and being split down the middle that he that he realizes witnessing the destruction of another Earth, the other Earth, and then of course Zoom shows up out of nowhere to interrupt their family dinner and taunt the Flash, runs off with Henry. Barry runs off chasing after them, both of them inadvertently revealing that to Wally that Barry and the Flash are one and the same, and Zoom insisting that he and Barry are one and the same, and they suffer the same tragedy as watching their parents die. Basically impales Henry Allen in Barry's childhood home while he watches helplessly. And at least it will provide some kind of explanation. He never saw the attack coming. Even if he went back in time and tried to stop it, he never would have known where the Zoom would have appeared from, where he opened a breach, etc. And he wouldn't have been fast enough to stop him from impaling Henry Allen. So, and the thing is, I think a lot of people saw this coming, where he said Henry Allen said he was going to stay for good. I guess part of it is also because it's you weren't sure what kind of dynamic or where he was going to fit into the team. You get with Team Flash, they're all scientists or engineers, and Joe is basically the friend on the force, and Iris is basically the investigative reporter who knows who's the more street smart person. So you can see how both members of the West family would contribute. It would be hard to see how Henry Allen would contribute. I don't want to say he was a good character. I don't want to say he's expendable, but it was hard to see what he would provide as far as besides moral support, because there are other characters who provide moral support for Barry as it is. But it was still fairly emotional. It sucked to see him go. And it's sort of, and now it just I don't know where this finale is going to go from here at this point, just because of the fact that it's based on the promo for next week. It just seems like they're going to jump inside some Zoom and Flash going to jump inside some giant speed cannon and race you, find out the title, who's the fastest man alive, and how it's going to relate to Zoom destroying Earth 2, or what his ultimate goal is. But overall, I think it's basically built up some momentum to the season finale, and it was nice to see Laurel Lance again. There was some sense of dread with these different metahumans running around, but overall, fantastic episode. Did you guys feel the same way? What are your predictions for the finale? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.